Creation's Journey to Life, Day 25, Minding My Own Business. I forgive myself that I have accepted and allowed myself to live as a consumer within my mind, scheming and planning the business of my life to make sure I get as many rewards as possible to show that I have a profitable life, regardless how it would impact my fellow humans or life on earth in general. I forgive myself that I have accepted and allowed myself to regard my business as happiness goals, as the only interest myself must be busy with to make sure I have a rewarding life. I forgive myself that I have accepted and allowed myself to have refused to see that I have separated myself from the business of life by regarding life only in terms of the mind, as the primary goals as the interest of self that must be rewarded to feel and experience value. I forgive myself that I have accepted and allowed myself to have refused to see that I have allowed all children born as first life to be misguided to believe that the mind is the only value as self, and that the mind must be the only interest of value, with a total disregard for the body as the breath of dust that is the real life giver to the mind. I forgive myself that I have accepted and allowed myself to have failed to see that the society created through the mind, in the interest of the mind self, is the root cause for the effects in the world that cause global suffering, unemployment, poverty, extinction, and abuse. I forgive myself that I have accepted and allowed myself to have failed to see that all support system on earth have been developed to sustain the authority of the mind self, with complete disregard of that which in fact makes life possible on earth. I forgive myself that I have accepted and allowed myself to have failed to see that to train the body to become addicted to the abuse and pleasure the mind inflicts on the body makes the stopping of these cycles progressively more difficult, with consequences now growing daily that will produce progressively more and more the fruit of inequality and enslavement to not only the mind, but also the system of the mind, like money, and what money provide and secure to those that submitted completely to money as God of the world system. I forgive myself that I have accepted and allowed myself to have failed to see how the spark of life is being blown out to such a degree that only the machine like self of the mind remains entertained by feelings and emotions and experiences of self interest that seek happiness and mind self fulfillment, while treating life with complete disdain, as if it has no value and importance, with even death glorified as the event to spread false images about the life of the mind self, with no guilt or shame. I forgive myself that I have accepted and allowed myself to have failed to see how passion with compassion have been aligned to the feigned and fake demonstration of the mind self that fails to reach its goal of self interested fulfillment, while the real compassion for life has all but disappeared complete on earth. I commit myself to show that the business of the mind totally disregard life in every way, and that this is demonstrated in earth daily in many ways. I commit myself to show that happiness is in fact a mental social disease of self-interest that makes war on life through rewards. I commit myself to show that the values of the mind are not the value of life, and that consequence of the disregard of life is unforgivable. I commit myself to call on all parents that serve as the doorway to new life on earth to stop creating only a fake consciousness that seeks rewards and self-interest, as the accumulation of such abuse will eventually reach a point of no return, where it will become impossible for life to have a future on earth, as well as impossible for the mind self to exist. I commit myself to show that the society on earth demonstrates daily that life has no value without any remorse or shame. I commit myself to demonstrate that the authority of the mind on earth is no real authority, and that life is standing up to claim the right of life back, which will signify the end of the mind self. I commit myself to train that which is life to be equal to the mind self, to thusly take directive principle and restore life to earth in every way. I commit myself to explain the machine as the mind to such specificity that the truth of this impostor with its spawn as consciousness can be seen for what it is. I commit myself to restore compassion for life on earth, where the ones with greater ability will protect those with a lesser ability as a matter of life.